Morning traders, it is Tuesday, May 14th. It is almost 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. Welcome to my video trading journal. This is my accountability tool. Keeps me accountable to myself. And now that I'm sharing them with the world, I'm keeping myself accountable to everybody else as well. So. Real quick, just a quick review of what you're looking at here. These are price ladders, and there are 5 different products here, moving from left to right. It's all the way on the end here. We have the Ultra Bond symbol UB, then we have the ZB. This is the 30-year bond. Right here in the middle basically is the ZF, which is the 5-year T-Note. Treasury note. Then we have the ZN here, almost in the middle. That is the 10-year Treasury note. And then all the way over here on the right is the E-mini S&P. I'm going to keep that on there because it is in a properly functioning market. It has an inverse correlation to the fixed income products, which is what you see over here. These 4 here on the left. I typically just trade the ZB, the 30-year, and the 10-year, primarily the 10-year. Yesterday I got a little caught up in trading the 30-year for some dumb reason. But we'll see if we can kind of recover from that today. I have some thoughts on that I might share a little bit later, but let's get through our review here real quick. Let's see what happened during the overnight. I'm going to bring a chart over. It's probably the only time I'll look at a chart, to be honest. So this is the ZN overnight action. It opened over here, spiked up, kind of bid back up to that level almost again, then sold back down, sort of went sideways. And then at pit open, it kind of bid back up into that little tail, and then we're kind of dropping back down into this range right now. So pretty much sideways, small range, typical range. What we've seen lately is abnormal in my experience. So this is more of a typical overnight range, kind of small, sideways action. Let's real quick look at a calendar. Not much here. Everything's pretty much been reported already. Nothing really of significance. Tomorrow and Thursday we got some announcements coming out, but as of today there's nothing really on the calendar, so we can kind of put that away for now. Areas of interest, again, just a sideways nice profile here. It looks like it's kind of getting sold off. It had 2 attempts to get out of the value area here at 14.5, 15, and was sold down twice. It just happened recently, as you can see on that chart that I just showed. So I'm really not going to engage or not feel comfortable engaging until we get to the overnight low or the overnight high. So we're basically smack dab in the middle. It could be a minute till we get up or down there. It's really going to depend on what equities do. Massive sell-off yesterday. Yeah, a lot of the volatility is kind of going to my head, I think. So I had a really good kind of come to Jesus yesterday and trying to figure out, oh, damn it, I didn't want to do that. Oh well. Just trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with me. And yeah, I just kind of, it came to the conclusion that all this volatility has just kind of got my nerves a little wound up a little bit. And so spent a little bit more time meditating and relaxing. I think I'll get a massage today, but I'm really just going to be very, very particular on where I engage. I prefer taking 2 to 3 trades a day. Yesterday was way more than that. Not way more, but too many more. Too much. So today, what to work on today is basically just being very particular, letting price get to the levels that you want it to get to, or that I want it to get to, and then just seeing what I need to see. Basically what people call confirmation. So wait for confirmation, quote unquote, and that's when I will be engaging. So I'm gonna go ahead and unless I see something or I have more thoughts, I'm just gonna go ahead and let the tape roll. Oh, the other thing I kind of wanted to ask, if there's any frequent viewers out there, if there's any other format that I can maybe do these videos in as from a publishing standpoint. I don't know if getting on here and doing my review, I think that's going to happen for me anyway, because that's just my routine in the morning. But as far as what I publish on YouTube, if there's a better way, if I could just, if you just want to see the trades or what, I don't know if there's any value in doing the review and publishing the review and then fast forwarding all the way to the trades, or if I should just cut straight to the trades and publish those. So any sort of feedback on that would be helpful. I'm debating. Doesn't really matter to me, to be honest, but it would be easier, I guess, to just whack this video up in post-processing and just show only the trades and not have to kind of parse through some of the dialogue and audio. But I'm open to it, so let me know. Again, I'm going to shut the mic off and we'll just kind of watch, see what happens. Not much, nothing to gain for trading here in the middle of these profiles other than just a lot of stress, anxiety, and gray hair, which I had, I had enough of yesterday, so I am going to be very particular today. That's the goal. And I'm going to listen to myself. That's something I didn't do yesterday either, was pay attention to my own words. So one of the things that I like to do real quick before I sign off here is that I like to keep a running narrative in my mind at all times of what the market's doing, what I'm seeing, and it has to be something that's kind of linear and it has some continuity. Otherwise, it's just, you know, what's the point? If you're seeing different things from moment to moment, you're not really seeing the market as a whole in a broad context. And I think it's important to maintain that narrative throughout basically the entire day, or different sections of the day that we know right now is a little bit more volatile than when we get into the, you know, lunchtime hour, the 8:30 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, which would be, you know, noon on the East Coast. Things kind of slow down, so the narrative might change a little bit then, narrative in the context. But I think it's important to kind of string that through your entire day and pay attention to what's going on and pay attention to what was happening 20 minutes ago and what typically happens at that time as well. Anyway, that's just my thoughts for the day. Again, I'm going to shut the mic off, continue to caffeinate, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so here we are about an hour and 20 minutes later, and you can see the ZN is basically trading in the exact same spot that it was an hour ago, over an hour ago. I was eyeballing this little profile step over here in the 30-year, but that just got taken out apparently. Prices had stalled there for quite some time, but I saw the Ultra Bond had blown through 04, and I was curious if 8 was going to hold over here. I mean, thus far it hasn't. We haven't popped through it. There was a pretty big size, good size bid here at 07. It was over 1100 at one point. Looks like we've had 21 trade down into it, and it's still pretty hefty. So we'll see if they start hitting down into that, and if it holds, it could just be some spoofing. And this little profile shelf here at 8 was from previous overnight action. So it's not something you're just going to jump into, in my opinion. Not only that, but you don't know exactly when you're wrong. I mean, you're definitely wrong down here at 3, but that's just too big of a drop, too big of a gap between stop loss to even really consider that, unless, I mean, I don't really trust these profile steps over here in the 30-year as much as I trust them in the 10-year. Just seems like a kind of a consolidation day after a pretty wild day yesterday. Wouldn't be surprised if equities were quite a bit higher by the close. It's just kind of one of those low volume environments where they just everything gets bought up over here. You could see the appetite. I mean, might be generating a little momentum over here. I'm not sure. But you just see the appetite to trade kind of any of these products really is just not there today. So we're kind of at the point, it's 10 to 8 a.m. Pacific time. If something doesn't happen here pretty soon, probably just shut her down. You'd have to front run this thing to get in on it. The setup that I prefer is ES pushing the lows, and I'm looking for a short over here, not necessarily a long. We're kind of on the opposite. This is where you get caught off sides. You try to front run this thing in anticipation of ES dumping a little bit more. Buyers end up stepping up pushing it back up, and then you find yourself a couple ticks off sides like super quick. It just feels like a bit of a coin flip here. The longer we see this like low volume just grind higher, it's just going to put more and more pressure on what's going on over here, and it'll just blow right through this step, this little profile step. Over 600 up, couldn't take that bid. That's a little disconcerting. I don't know how much longer they can hold this level. So it's about 8:15 Pacific time. Definitely in that, well, it's pretty much been this way all day, but definitely in that time of day where it's just this like slow grind higher for the equity markets. It's like that default buying activity. Still trying to take this bid here, and it's having difficulty. I don't like that. We need this to pump up a ton and start scaring off these sellers over here. Start attacking up, and people start piling on. Just got to get going one way or the other. Like the 10 years kind of stalled out here at 11, 10 half. Ultra bond here at 2. Still have too many sellers at this level. Not really digging that. Getting some active selling over here in the 10 year. Might be time to just scratch this thing, call it a day. There it is. Just popped it. That's how it happens. So I got stopped out on one already. The other one is at 150 at the volume stop. Hopefully I don't get slipped on that. Even though it's a loser, I feel like that is a valid trade. It's a good setup. Just in case this thing pops back up. I doubt it, but you never know. Still feel like it was a pretty good setup. Could have worked out. You win some, you lose some. Been like zero pushback on this. Should probably try to get out here. Definitely a little concerned I might get slipped. Notice that the 10 year is still holding this level. So we got blasted in the bonds, but notes are still sort of holding. Really should have scratched this thing when I saw that, all that kind of absorption. I think when we got into this trade, I'll have to go back and check, but this was a decent sized number. And then this is a lot lower, so maybe about half. And then as we progressed through the trade, it just sort of built up, and that tells you right there that you're getting some absorption from the sellers. Damn, I knew it. Got slipped. Son of a bitch. Well, that kind of hurts. Alright, so we're about 2 hours into this video. Not a lot to show for it. I'm going to stop it here. Very slow day. Low volume. Something's going on now, though. I'll have to see what the fuck. These are definitely algos pushing this market around because that little pop right there that you just saw was based on Trump says his relationship with China's Xi is extraordinary. That's it. That's not even news. I guess we can keep rocking the video because we're down at the overnight low. It should act as some sort of support. I mean, the volatility and price actions picked up a little bit. Looks like we're kind of blowing right through this level, though. Seeing a little back and forth here. It's a good sign. 5 years still offer at the lows. Kind of counting on whatever news pop this market that people wise up and it sort of falls back in, and that allows us to trade back up to the point of control. Just moving my targets up a little bit just because I feel like it's price action volatility's picked up a little bit. So I could see this pushing up a little bit higher. We're going to pay attention to what happens to these offers over here as we get up. This has already pulled off a couple thousand. That's good. Definitely need these buyers to pile on. I'd like to see this go the first time, but normal or typical activity is for this to fall in one more time, and then it's like a second chance buying opportunity. People can buy it back up. The option is to take a tick off, take the position off at one tick and try to rebuy it, or just sit through it and hope that buyers do step up and take that second chance opportunity. I mean, obviously the other option is this thing goes right back up and I get crushed and run over. Let's go pile on, baby. Where's the 5-year? Let's go. Catch a bid over there. Damn. That's what I'm talking about. It's just low volume. ES just like gets bought up after a, like a 2-point pullback. Any little dip gets bought up. Just puts too much pressure on what's going on over here. Damn, it's a pretty big size coming through on the 5-year over here. Five-year's making new lows, not good. Need to see some pushback here. Nobody's stepping up. It's not looking good. 5 years making new lows. Somebody's got to buy this thing, man. Let's go. Yeah, look at that. 5 years already hitting the lows again. It's too much pressure. You might have a two trade loser today. Just hope I don't get slipped again. Making new lows over here, Ultra Bond. Well, I kind of knew this was coming. You can see it with the ES. It's just like that low volume grind, and I said it. And that's what does it, man. It puts too much pressure over here on these guys. They can only hold on for so long. Probably could have waited a little bit longer on the overnight low just to see what was going on, but like buyers put up a little bit of a fight. But that ended pretty quickly. I don't blame them. Oh wow, that turned around pretty quickly. I just turned my head for a second and came back, and the buyers I was begging for are back. Or showed up anyway. Look at that bid. Nope, not real. So they're going to push it back up to the overnight low, and then that's going to act as resistance, and everybody's going to sell it back down. So if I was smart, I would just scratch this thing right here. Scratched it. Okay, definitely done now. Time to move on to other things. I guess just quick review. We looked at overnight low and the overnight high. We got down to the low over here. And we took the trade when it looked like buyers were kind of active. Came through, almost got stopped out, took the scratch. Paying commissions, but it is what it is. This might even go higher still, but I doubt it. Anyway, that's it for today. Unfortunately, a red day, but what are you going to do? You can't win them all. That's it. Well, yep, that's it. See y'all mañana.